Okay, the meeting is being recorded. So if you want to call it to order,
Lorraine Stubb, Vice Chair, sitting in for Susan Skeen, Chair. I'm calling the Berlin Historic District Commission meeting of January 4th, 2020 to order at 6:30. So we have a roll call. Bill Singh.
I'm actually looking for my list of members.
I have.
I have it. If everyone else is, can everyone but Lorraine mute your phones or your computer? That would be very helpful.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of noise.
Yeah, let me see. Maybe, can you talk for a minute, Lorraine, just so I can see which caller you are, and I'll try to mute everyone else.
Okay, but then they have to say if they're here or not, and if they're muted.
Right, they can unmute. Right after that, we'll mute everyone else. And then
Lorraine's caller number 3.
oh, thank you for that. Okay. I'm gonna just announce that as indicated on the agenda for this meeting, there is no in-person public access. The conference call number as well as the WebEx meeting information link was provided to the commission members, the applicants, and other interested persons to participate. For those listening, I ask that you mute your phones if you are able so that we do not get background noise. When it's time to speak, you can unmute your phone and identify yourself. There's 2 very important reminders. First, every time you speak, you must state your name and title for the record. Second, we must be careful not to speak over one another so that everyone who is listening can hear what is being said and we have a clear record. When it comes time for the commission members to comment, if more than one of you wish to speak at a time or are trying to, we will call the roll at that time if there's confusion. And now I'm going to call the roll to see who's in attendance. So, Bill Sink, are you on? I don't believe so.
Oh, he told me he was going to be on, so.
Huh.
Mm-mm.
Well, we'll watch to see if someone else joins. Andra Lou Miller,
Here.
Amy Pressure. Amy?
I don't think she was going to be here. She's away.
Susan Skeen has asked to be excused. Lorraine Stubb is here. Yep. Pam Pethigal, I believe, also was going to be excused. Richard Bennett.
Here.
Herb Watson.
Here.
Okay. And that's the roll. Did I miss anyone? All right. Thank you. All right, Lorraine. You have the agenda in front of you?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So we have public hearing for certificate of appropriateness, HDC 2020-06A, request Lee K. Hale, Heels Cabinetry and Millwork, LLC, for William E. Quirk and Susan Quirk for property at 724 Worthington Ridge for reconsideration for replacement of open front porch ceiling with synthetic board instead of pine as approved.
Can I just make a notation while we're on? I see that Bill Sink has joined the meeting. Bill, can you just confirm that for the record?
Yes, yes, it's Bill Fink, joining the meeting.
Thank you.
Okay. So, Mr. Hale, I guess since our last meeting, some complications have arisen and you're asking to do synthetic board instead of the wood as we recommended. But maybe you can fill us in on the background of that and what the problem was.
Yes, the customer is looking for something that's going to be a little bit more user-friendly in the end run. I was recommended the pine material, and like it was going to be somehow different in appearance, and it's not. As you could see from the pictures I supplied to you, that the face value of that PVC material is exactly the same as the material in wood as recommended. Right there.
Okay.
There is no dimensional difference. There is no difference in appearance. The only difference in the owner's opinion and mine also is the fact that we'd end up having to paint it and keep it up for a much more shorter service interval. Right now, the porch is white. The porch ceiling is white, and if we were to put up this PVC material, it would stay white the way it is. Or they could paint it, and it would have a much better service life. That was our opinion on it with the owner and myself. So I was asking if we would be able to use the PVC material because of the fact that it has the exact same face value as the wood material that was recommended to me, which this was the original PVC material that I had asked for first. Right.
Okay. Because I thought there was some issue with the dimensions being different.
The dimension is exactly the same as what was recommended to me.
Okay. And
Now, the dimensions that are on the porch ceiling right now are right there in that you can see it connotated as a B, and it's actually a 1x4 with a much smaller dimensional plank on it. So I was indifferent to this because of the fact that the PVC has a longer service life. The recommendation was to go with wood, but it's the exact same dimension. I don't see the point in going with the wood if we're gonna make the homeowners have a harder time taking care of it in the long run.
okay.
That B piece of wood there matches the original exactly, and that's not what was recommended to me anyway.
Okay.
So you can see my point of trying to go with a synthetic material that's going to have a longer service life. If you're going to recommend a dimension to me for something, then why can't I have it, and why can't they have it in a synthetic material that's going to be easier on their budget in the long term? And frankly, look better in the long term too.
I know when we were sent pictures here, and I was confused because there's a page 2 with some photos that were taken, I guess, at the lumber store. And I was confused about the A and B on there. So they're just the same that are on there, just the perspective?
No. If you show the A and B again, the A is what was recommended to me by your commission, which is in the first picture, is a direct match to the PVC material that I was asking for in the first place. That B piece of wood material matches what's up there right now. So my argument is, why can't I use the PVC material that has the same dimensions that's already been approved, and appearance and everything else? It just doesn't make sense.
Okay, does anybody have questions of Mr. Hale?
This is Herb. Is this the time to talk about or just ask questions?
Ask questions.
Okay. No, I don't have any questions.
This is Richard. I have a couple of questions for Mr. Hale.
Yes.
Now they do make that in a finger joint primed pine, which would require less maintenance and less painting, obviously, than a natural wood. Did you look into that one as well?
No, I did not. I went and looked into what was recommended to me by your commission. That is
I believe
A's
they
place.
said there was a pine and there was a cedar, I believe we said. Or that's what Herb found out. But regardless, there's two different types of pine that they have at Minor, and a Mr. Greg Branacki gave me prices on all of it. And they do make like I said, a primed pine in 16 footers. It's about $1 a foot.
Yep.
So I just wondered if you had looked into that at all.
Why would I bother looking into that when I already know that you're recommending, you already made a recommendation to me for display A that matches exactly the PVC material that I'm asking for.
That's kind of not the problem, is whether it matches exactly. I mean, vinyl siding is not allowed in the historic district. So just because something might be easier or something might last longer isn't necessarily the case in the historic district. So that really doesn't come into play at all. You know, we recommended wood to you because we felt that the plastic ceiling was getting really away from the originality of what was there.
But you can tell the difference from 6 inches away.
Well, we can agree to
Look
disagree
at
on
the
that.
first display picture there that I put forth to you.
I did look at your pictures. I couldn't tell a few of the words, but I did look at the pictures.
So, okay, the first word to you on the right-hand bar there was previously applied for use. And then the next one down is your member recommendation from Miners Lumber previously. The dimensions are exactly the same. The appearance is exactly the same.
Yeah.
But then we were given like a page 2 of pictures that are also labeled A and B. And
we're looking at them right now as we speak.
I mean, it's like distorted in the picture we have. There's all these lines in it. It's hard.
There's lines in it? You mean the wood grain?
Yeah. Well,
Did the copies not come out well?
Maureen, do you have the original picture?
That is the grain of the wood, Lorraine.
Oh, okay. It's just a fuzzy picture, so it's hard for me to tell what that is.
The copy I have is pretty clear, which is what's surprising me.
I have a beautiful digital image right in front of me right now that I can see very plainly what it is.
Not all of the commission is on. They also got the packages mailed to them.
I have to assume that you copied my images.
Yes, they are color copies, and I do think that unless there were some images not as unless the copy machine quirked at some point, I believe that the images are just the grain of the wood. Lorraine,
Okay.
there were some horizontal lines in the copies that came out, but they're pretty faint on at least the copy I have.
Mm-hmm.
And we
Okay.
this was an extra copy, exact replica of what you guys all got.
Mm-hmm. Does anybody else have questions?
This is Herb. I have some comments, but I'll save them for the second part.
Okay. So we have no further questions to ask, because if not, I would somebody should move to close the hearing so we can deliberate.
Will I be able to comment again on this after you deliberate?
Maureen?
No. Once the hearing's closed, the participation by the applicant, unless it's strictly to clarify something already discussed, is no more back and forth.
Okay, well, before we get to that point, then, can I speak again?
Sure, go ahead.
Oh, good. On that second picture there, you have displayed A and B.
Yes?
Why aren't we trying to recommend B? I'm kind of at a loss to how you're operating or how you're trying to aim things towards the historic district. Because if I can't have something that was recommended to me in a plastic that's going to look the same from less than a foot away, then why aren't you guys recommending that we go with B, which is an exact duplicate of what's already on the house? I'm at a huge loss here. I don't understand.
Yeah, it's Richard again. I think the biggest reason, Mr. Hale, is because you kept telling us that you were looking for something that's 5.5 inches wide, so you don't have to charge the people more money for labor. I believe that was part of the conversation a couple of weeks ago.
That was. But if we can't, that was part of the conversation. But if we can't do the plastic, then why aren't you making the recommendation of B?
Again, because you were looking for something that was 5.5 inch wide beadboard.
All right, well let's keep that on the table then. Okay?
I didn't research B at all. Do you want us to research it? You can come back next month.
You can't see in the picture that's what it is, and by what I wrote on there, it's 1x4, and it matches exactly what's on the porch now.
Matches what?
It matches the original on the porch that's there right now.
No, that I cannot see what's on the porch now. I cannot see that. I have no picture of that.
Didn't we all go to the porch?
No,
Didn't I supply a picture of the porch?
I don't have it, and I wasn't there.
No.
I don't know if we ever had a close-up picture of the porch ceiling.
If you give me a minute, let me see if I have one in that last package from the previous meeting. I don't think any of the pictures from the previous meeting are clear to the ceiling material. We've got pictures of the spindles, pictures of the porch itself. You can see it's just looks like a white ceiling in the pictures. You can't tell texture or, but I can try to bring that up. I've lost one of my screens here, so bear with me, please, while I find that. Of course, not everyone.
This is Herb again. I'd just like to echo what Richard said. The problem was in the material and not the size of it. The 1x6 or 1x5.5 is a suitable ceiling material for a 100-year-old porch. I have 2 houses with porches, and they're 100 years old, and they both have 1x6 beaded board ceilings on the porches. The problem has been with the PVC material.
Are you waiting for me to speak?
Mr. Hale, this is Lorraine again.
Okay.
Just to say where we're coming from is that we're trying to follow preservation standards to use like-for-like materials.
And that's what I'm getting at right now, is that your recommendation is not to like material then in the first place. And what I was asking for is not to like material that's in the first place. The original ceiling is indeed that 1x4 fir plank with the bead in the center and the bead on the edge, as I displayed in the second photo.
Well, I mean in materials, so wood for wood.
That is, it's wood, well, okay. I don't see the point in having another meeting over an exact duplicate. If we're not going to be able to go with the PVC, then why don't you approve the 1x4 material to be used on the porch ceiling?
This is Herb again. I don't think we would object to either wood material. Either
Okay,
one
now you
would
can
be acceptable.
now you can deliberate what you need to deliberate on that, because we don't mind either. But if we're going to be forced to use wood, we'd much rather go with the original size and use that. I mean, if we're going to be forced to not use a synthetic material.
So are you saying that you would go with wood?
Well, I would go with wood if we're gonna be, you know, if we're not going to be able to use the PVC, then it's off the table completely anyway. So if that's the case, then we should be going with the 1x4 material, and we shouldn't be recommending that we go with a 1x6 material when the original is actually available. It's going to cost a little bit more to lay it out. I've already talked it off with the owners. I just wanted to be absolutely sure that you were just not going to do the PVC routine.
Well, sometimes it's not possible to have the exact same thing in the, you know, wood for wood with the exact same spacing, but it's, you know, trying to be true to the look of the building and the history of the materials used on it.
Yes, I understand this.
But I know you're doing with the balusters on the porch, that you're replicating those, and you know that's a big step to do that. And we applaud that.
It's expensive too.
So I think it's like we're coming from, well, you're going to all that expense, like wouldn't you want more of the porch to be original looking?
Like I said, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference of that 1x6 PVC material from the 1x6 pine from a foot away. You can't tell the difference when you light them up. But if we're going to be forced to go with the wood, then we should be going with B. Because B is the exact match in width that's on house now.
Okay, so B is the exact match to what's
B
there
is apples for apples.
for,
I called, I believe I spoke to Sue about this and just ran it by her because she was the only phone contact I had. And I was just asking her to put this forth if I could use wood that was apples for apples to replace the ceiling without going through this whole meeting and getting everybody involved again. She said, no, that we had to put it on record. So here I am. So I figured I'd run it by with the PVC thing all over again and have you guys try to explain to me why we couldn't do the PVC material instead of recommended wood material. Because in face value and appearance, it's exactly the same. Now, if you're just gonna tell me that you're not gonna allow PVC materials in place of that, then I was gonna try to go with display B, because you're forcing me to use wood. So if that's the case, I'd much rather have it be exact than be a little bit off as was recommended.
okay. Does anybody else have questions? I guess not. Do I have a motion to close the hearing so we can deliberate?
This is Andra. I move to close the hearing to deliberate.
Richard Bennett, I second it.
Okay. Okay, so what do people think? Comments?
Well, this is Herb. Wood is what I would like to see. Whether it's 4-inch or 6-inch, I would be happy. See, our whole focus is on the outside of these historic buildings, and you know, if we have to be careful what we allow, because in 50 years, the outside of all our historic buildings will become synthetic. We'll have composite decking on our porches. We'll have fiberglass columns. We'll have fiberglass doors. We'll have vinyl siding. We'll have plastic trim boards. And the historic value of all our historic buildings could disappear. So that was my objection to the PVC ceiling. But of course, the best would be the more narrow wood, and if Mr. Hale is willing to do that, that would be great.
Okay. I mean, my feeling on it is, you know, I always want people to do wood and natural materials as much as they can. I mean, the porch ceiling is something that you don't see that much from the road. You know, I mean, if I was the homeowner, I would certainly want to use like original materials. But, you know, I think the key element on this porch is the balusters and the railings that they're doing in wood.
If we start to, it's Herb again, sorry. If we start to allow PVC ceilings, we'll be allowing PVC railings and spindles pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is Richard.
This is Andra. I agree with her take on this. I think we should stick with the wood.
Okay, Richard, were you going to say something?
Yeah, yes, obviously, you know, if you start to use plastic siding outside like that, it kind of sets the precedent. You're bringing it outside the building, and I know it's hard to see the ceiling from the street, but you can certainly see it when you walk up on the porch. And I know Mr. Hale said you can't tell the difference, but you can. And unfortunately, That's a code that we're very strict about is the plastic when wood is available. So I think as long as he's willing to put the wood up there, we can give him the approval to do the wood.
Okay. Bill, do you have any comments? I know you weren't here for the last meeting.
If the owner and Mr. Hale are willing to use wood that is like for like, dimensionally the same, it sounds like the problem is solved.
And Andra?
I agree with Herb and everybody else saying the wood would be the best choice for this. I would prefer to see the wood.
Okay, so we're talking about the wood that wouldn't be an exact match, but it's 1x4 beaded.
No, that is the exact match, he said.
Okay.
He said the 1x4 is the exact match.
Okay.
This is Maureen. I'll just clarify that you're all speaking of what's in the package labeled as item number B is an exact like for like match to dimensionally correct to existing 1x4 fur.
This is Bill, correct? I believe that's what we're speaking about.
This is Andra, yes.
Maureen, did you say B or C?
I don't
B.
think there is.
Yes,
B as
B.
in boy.
Okay. Does somebody want to make a motion?
I think. Oh, right. I'm sorry.
This is Richard. I'll make a motion that we vote for the approval of B to be used on the interior of the porch ceiling.
Okay. Do I have a second?
This is Andra, I second.
Okay. All those in favor? I guess you have
Aye.
to
Aye.
roll call.
Yeah. Can I do a roll call, please? So that's Andra Millard,
Aye.
Bill Sink,
Aye.
Lorraine Stubb,
Aye.
Richard Bennett,
Aye.
Herb Watson.
Aye.
Okay. So the motion passes. And so, Mr. Hale, there'll be another COA permit issued shortly.
I'm sorry?
Oh, so the material to be used is B, the wood for 1x4.
Yeah,
You'll get a certificate of approval, I guess in the mail.
okay.
Well, we'll be issued. This is Maureen speaking. We'll issue a new certificate of appropriateness for the change in material for the porch roof, and you'll be getting that in the mail once it's processed.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you again, Mr. Hale.
Okay. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Okay, so next item is review of minutes from December 7th, 2020. And I think of the people, Richard, Andra, myself, are present that were here for that meeting. So do you want to take time to review them, or have you reviewed them?
So I mailed them in the packet as well.
Marlo on the call? Maureen, is Marlo on the call?
Yes, she is.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say, like, in the end here about painting the Berlin Free Library, and it probably just say the Berlin Free Library Belfry. They're not painting the whole building. So any other changes? Anybody? Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
This is Andra. I move to approve the minutes as written with the one change.
Okay, do I have a second?
This is Richard Bennett. I'll second it.
Okay. All those in favor? Do
You
we
can
have
do,
again?
you can do that just by calling out, as long as you ask, is there anyone opposed? Because I think it'll be a consensus.
This is Andra. Aye.
This is Herb, aye.
Richard, aye.
Okay, Lorraine, aye. Okay, so the minutes are approved.
This is Marlo. I have a question. How do you want that to read exactly, the approval?
Wait a minute, I can't hear you, Marlo.
How do you want that approval to read exactly?
Oh, just, just say that the Berlin Free Library Belfry
No, not that.
is being prepped and painted.
I'm talking about the COA.
Pardon?
I'm talking about the COA.
Oh, how do you want the COA to read?
Yes.
Say it was approved to replace the open front porch ceiling with the one by four wood.
Yeah, I lost you.
Can everyone
Maureen?
that's not speaking, please mute? We have
Can-
several speakers that aren't muted. Maybe even you, Marlo, after asking the question, mute.
All right, hey, give me 1 second then, because I can't type and do that at the same time. It's 2 screens. Hang on. All right, I'm muting it now.
Okay. All right, Lorraine, can you word the motion?
Yeah, she wants to know how to word the COA. So it'd be that we approved replacement of the porch ceiling with the like for like wood 1 by 4 dimension as illustrated. I don't know, Maureen, do you reference his photo
We don't usually, but you can say as presented
as presented?
in labeled B in the application.
Mm-hmm. Marla, did you get that?
She's putting a thumbs up. So yes.
Oh, she's right there.
No, she's on the screen. She went.
Okay.
She's joining by computer. So she got that. Thank you very much.
Okay. So we have other business. I just wanted to bring up a couple. Amy Pressure has asked, her term is up for renewal this month, and she wanted to switch to be an alternate member because she's got a lot of things going on with her family and her son graduating this year, and it's very intense for her. So she had already talked to Herb about switching, but then we noticed that Richard's term is expiring in January also. And Richard, I didn't know if you wanted to become a full-time member, a full member rather than alternate. Have you applied to renew?
This is
Yes,
Andra. This is Andra. I was under the impression that if you were going to change alternate to a full member, it had to be for the same affiliation, party affiliation.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, Maureen, can you confirm that? I'm pretty sure that's how it goes, because I think I spoke with Kate about this.
Kate wasn't here when I went to ask her last. She was off for a couple of days last week, so I wasn't able to get total clarity from her. Unfortunately, we didn't meet up today. But I understand as long as, well, my understanding in the past was as long as the mix of members doesn't change, which is likely that it does, it probably does need to be the same party, but that may just depend on the mix of the total number. So the board, the commission consists of 5 regular members and 3 alternates for 5-year terms. Not more than 3 regular members shall be of the same political party. So that would I'd have to study this more to figure that out.
No,
But
Well,
it's like they would work that out. The members that are coming up for renewal, it may be a matter of the mix of that. So,
Maureen, can I ask you when my term is up? This is Andra.
yep, I'm looking at the thing right now.
2023, Andra.
2023.
Okay, so I had spoken with Richard because we have a lot of things going on with our family right now. And I talked with Richard about maybe switching with me to become a full member and I would become the alternate. And I realize now that my term isn't up until the 2023, but I didn't know if it was something that we could possibly maybe switch when Richard's is up, and I'll
So
something to think about.
again, my understanding is that each position holds the term, and I believe you fill back out your application, and or you would contact Kate or Christy to modify your application. For instance, if somebody was going to resign, or perhaps somebody, is asking to change the kind of member they are, they'd be saying, I want to resign from full member, but I'm then applying to be an alternate member, and
Okay.
you'd be
All right,
filling
so-
the term for the period for the position that's then free. And the alternate would be.
So does that mean I should speak with Kate?
I think so.
Okay.
I think the important thing here, or rather something that might be key to get the answer to whether you do it on the record during this recorded meeting or you have the discussion one-on-one, is whether or not the alternates are interested in becoming full members. So on this call, it would be Richard and Herb if either and or both of them are interested in becoming full members, if their terms would then allow for a change by someone who's already a full member to become an alternate.
This is Lorraine again. So originally, Amy and Herb had discussed switching, and so when I just emailed Kate, and she replied when she was on vacation, but she didn't give me a whole detailed discussion about it. But she suggested, because Richard's term was expiring, that when he renews, he applies to be a full member, and Amy, when hers expires, she applies to be the alternate member. But I think you have to fill out an application again, because I went through this years ago when I was an alternate, switching to a full member, and because they have to go through the town council approval too.
Well, that's what they already did. They already took my information.
So you've already talked to them, Richard?
No, I didn't talk to them. They sent me an application, a whole other application for January.
Oh, right. They do that automatically, hoping you'll renew.
Yeah, that I filled out. I had to fill the whole thing out again, and I mailed it back to them.
Okay.
But I don't know if it said alternate or not on it. I don't remember.
Huh.
We can talk to the town manager's office, or you can call the town manager's office, and Christy she's the one that takes in all those applications. That's who it got mailed back to. So she would have that information. I never see
Okay, I'll give her.
So maybe since Amy and Andra want to be alternates, Richard and Herb can then be full-time members. We just have to figure out how to logistically to do that and make that request.
Yeah, I don't think that should be too difficult.
I agree. I think they know how they can wrangle that in the between the manager's office and the town clerk's office. I think they can.
Yeah, I mean, we're
I'm sure
not
they come
curing,
across similar.
we're not curing COVID-19 here. We're just making a little switch.
Yeah.
The terms may just not coincide with the terms you currently have. It may be an adjustment to the terms you currently have to coincide with the terms that you're replacing. Or,
I'm sure we can work
proposing
with
to
that.
replace. The town council obviously makes the appointments, and they make that final decision.
Yeah, because if you switch, you're like completing the term of the person that you're replacing.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we'll figure this out. But we should do it this month when, two of these are expiring. Okay. In other business, I just want, if you haven't seen the Belfry Tower and the balustrade and everything, it's all in place and it looks beautiful on the Berlin Free Library. So mega kudos to them for following through on that major project. And anything else anybody wants to discuss? Nope. Okay.
Lorraine, this is Andra. Just on a personal note, do we know how Sue's mom is doing?
Andrea, I thought I told you that she died.
No.
Yeah, she died, I think it was New Year's Day.
Oh,
I'm
no.
sorry, I forget who I email about things. Maybe it was just Maureen and I knew about that. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I was going to announce it at the beginning of the meeting. I'm sorry. I hesitated on that.
Yeah, I should have said something about that. I'm sorry.
It's
So
okay.
I'm sure she would appreciate condolence cards or whatever.
Yeah.
Her mom had been ill for a long time, and Susan was living there with her in her last days, so that's a comfort. Like I told her, so many people
Yeah.
they die, like they're in the hospital and their loved ones can't be with them now. It's heartbreaking. So at least she was
Mhm.
there. So that's why she's taking tonight off. And
Of course.
okay,
All right. Thank you.
so I can't think of anything else to talk about at the moment. Amy's not here to discuss anything about our demolition delay. And the three of us still have to meet sometime, but the holidays have intervened here, so hopefully we can have some progress report for the next meeting. So if there's nothing else to discuss, do I have a motion to adjourn? Anybody?
It's Richard. I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Do I have a second?
This is Andra, second.
Okay. Everybody's in agreement, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. These meetings are kind of frustrating because it's hard to hear and hard to visualize things, you know. But thank you for sticking this out. We will meet again one day.
I will, I discussed with one member at the beginning of the meeting, I think before some others hopped on, but when you have the agenda, if you have a computer where you have a screen, it's pretty easy to, click the link to the meeting, and then, even if you have to call in separately for the audio and the audio to work and being able to speak at the meeting, that it is a simple link. It should just click right on your screen from the meeting invitation that you got an email with regard to. But if not, you can certainly contact me and we can do a trial meeting, either by you coming in the office or remotely. We can try it that way, just to try and see so that anybody else can get on video as well, because I see several of you have called in. So if anyone's concerned with how to do it, we don't mind doing tutorials. We're getting pretty good at this now.
Okay, thank you for offering, Maureen. I have two computers and one of them doesn't have a camera, and the other one's my iPad, and I couldn't seem to download the program, the link on it. And of course, I have my phone, but that's kind of tiny to watch things on.
So we do have a couple people even in town hall who are using their desktops, and they didn't have the audio on their computer, but they can see what I'm sharing on the screen if they're on video. You know, you can see it, but then you have to talk into your phone. That's another option. But we can help you work it out. I've heard other people say they have trouble with the iPhone or the Apple products. At the same time, you might be able to join through your browser instead of through the app, where you don't have to download the app. You can just join through your browser. And that's just like any other website you might go to. So like I said, I'm willing to help anybody.
Okay.
We'll help you figure it out if we can.
Okay.
All
Well,
right.
thank you, everybody, and stay well.
You too. Stay healthy.
Take
Thank
care.
you. Happy New Year.
Take care.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you, Marlo. Bye.